just go? Can we just go? Figure out where we're going. Can we just
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, go ahead and check me out on my social medias of Instagram and Twitter. They'll be right here for your convenience at the bottom of the screen, as well as linked down below in the description. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and hear about my freshman advice to you. So starting things off, go ahead and attend all of those awkward first week events. I 100% encourage that. I went to a ton of just random freshman related events, even the first weekend of moving in, and I would suggest that to any incoming freshmen. I would encourage them to attend those events. It's a great opportunity to make friends, and a lot of times they have free stuff. Go ahead and attend all those maybe weird and uncomfortable freshman first week events. That will just be so worth it in the end. And with free stuff, that leads me into my next tip. Get as much and as many free opportunities, free things, college student related deals as you can. Being a college student, a lot of times you don't even realize that there are literally student discounts on a lot of the things or places you shop at frequently already. You go to your university's website or even type in like college student deals for Clemson University students. You can probably find a list or some providers of people who do some type of college student deal because you are a college student attending that particular university, and especially check out deals around the surrounding area of your university because the local businesses probably have some kind of student night. I know down the street in downtown Clemson on Wednesday nights, Tadara's offers dollar slice nights, which is super helpful and super affordable. So things like that you can usually research ahead of time or even talk to a upperclassman if you know one and find out all the college deals that you can capitalize on, because in college money is everything and you want to save as much of it as you can. Next thing, hopping back into the whole moving in, is to get to know some of your hallmates. I'm not saying every single person, but it is a good idea for you within the first 1 or 2 nights to kind of get together as a hall. Either you and your roommate walk around and go to everybody's room and kind of introduce yourselves, say a few things about yourselves, usually what your major is, where you're from. Those are kind of some of the basics that you're going to be saying over and over again for the first couple of weeks, but it does feel so much better when you are able to kind of know and get familiarized with people who are on your hall, because it's kind of like going home to your family. I mean, they're going to be there when you come home. It's just really easy to socialize and hang out because they're literally 2 feet away from your own dorm. So just really get to know the people on your hall. I know I did, and it definitely enhanced my freshman experience. I can't imagine if I didn't know any of those people on my hall, and so I would encourage you to do the same. The earlier the better. I know me and my hallmates, within the first week we were having... So where were we? I was discussing the importance of getting to know your hallmates. I apologize guys, my camera was doing some technical difficulties, but I am back. And as I was stating before those difficulties, it is very important to get to know your hallmates. They can become some of your greatest friendships all throughout college, but especially the first semester of your freshman year. Next is to reach out and create some type of study group. I suggest this for every single one of your classes. You want to know at least 1 to 2 people. These can become your study buddies, people you can ask about studying with when exams come around, or even if you have questions about the notes or what your teacher or professor was talking about in class or in lecture. All these things are very important, and you have somebody else that you can bounce ideas back off of or help you study. They can maybe reteach some information that you might not understand from the professor directly, that you at least get a name and number of one person in the class. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could create a group meet, anything of that sort. I would recommend creating some type of study group, study buddy in each one of your classes. Maybe there's certain things they understand that you don't, vice versa. It's just a really smart way to utilize your resources, which is my next tip. You want to utilize every single one of your resources, not only when it comes to exam time, but just with the class as a whole. You want to find old Quizlets, old exams, maybe find an upperclassman who's taken that particular course, or even with that particular professor. All those resources are really at your disposal. You can maybe even go and find old archives elsewhere. Maybe your university offers them their academic success center. Any of those resources are all offered to you. So make sure that you are utilizing your resources and you are also utilizing the resource of a study buddy. The next tip I have that I've learned throughout my freshman year is to create some type of schedule. I'm not saying Monday at 6 a.m. I wake up, like a really rigid schedule. I'm just saying kind of look at your habits, how your week's going to be, typically laid out. Things change. College, you learn to kind of go with the flow, but you want to have somewhat of an idea of this is what I'm going to be doing, homework or studying or preparing for this particular course. Obviously, you have a set time for each of your classes that you should be attending and going to, and you want to make sure that you also set aside time to relax, recharge, socialize, attend athletic events, all the above. So you want to kind of have an idea of how you're going to fit on each layer of being a college student. Really, you want to make sure that you're handling first your academic layer, then your social layer, and obviously your self-care layer, because you are important. You cannot fill all the other aspects of you without making sure that you are handled first, but don't lose sight of the fact that you are there for academics. So keep in mind a schedule, get some type of planning method, either digitally with a Google Calendar, iCal, any of those types of resources, or even physically with a physical day design, some type of planner. That way you can organize and lay out all the information from the syllabus that's important for the course and know how you are going to succeed throughout the semester. Next thing is to FaceTime and keep in contact with old friends and family. Of course, you don't want to forget about the people who helped you get to where you are. Keep in contact at least once a week with your friends from high school or from back home, because they probably are experiencing some things like you, and you want to keep in touch. You don't want to lose those relationships necessarily now that you're meeting new people. So I would recommend that you definitely keep in contact frequently with your friends and family from back home. My next thing that I learned throughout my freshman year is to pack an umbrella. I cannot say this enough. I don't know if it's an upstate South Carolina thing, if it's just going to college and you're now outside walking to classes more than you did probably in high school, but it rains, and it rains unexpectedly, and it just kind of rains and then it stops, then it rains and then it stops. And especially this past winter season, it did that quite a lot in Clemson. And so having an umbrella just in your book bag, you're safe, you're covered. And unlike just wear my rain jacket on days I knew it was going to rain, but a lot of times your book bag would become soaking wet, and all of your notes and stuff, they kind of get a little damp, and that's just not cute. It's really gross. So I would suggest just having an umbrella. You're able to hold it up, protect not only you but your belongings in your backpack when you're walking. I would highly recommend. I also suggested that and a lot of other college essentials in my video back in January. Next is utilize Rate My Professor. So if you're unaware, Rate My Professor is a website that offers college students to get their feedback about the professors. Also keep in mind it's hit or miss sometimes, but I would recommend it as a starting point. Check out Rate My Professor, especially when you're signing up and registering for classes. My next thing is get involved, and get involved as soon as possible. It is not fun to just sit in your dorm all day and just study and then go to class and then eat and then sleep and then wake up and do it all over again. College, there's so much beyond just that. Give you something to do on a weekly basis, and so I'd recommend that you go ahead and check out your involvement fair. I know at Clemson, before the school year actually starts, there is a Tiger Proud, which is our involvement fair. It kind of helps your transition go a little bit more smoothly, I feel like, because there's other people who either have done it or are doing it with you, so you can kind of talk it out. I don't know, just get involved ASAP. That's all I have to say. So this next thing kind of goes back to what I was talking about before. Get organized. Even if you're not an organized person, get organized academically. First day, go ahead and go through that whole syllabus, list out all that information that is provided on there, because that will be very key and crucial to hold on to. And that way you can kind of map out your whole semester. Know what weekends maybe you can go on a fun day trip with friends, and other weekends that you might need to be going ahead and booking a study group in advance, because you have 3 different midterms and you need help studying for them all. So I suggest that you make sure that you are organized, at least academically, before you start your freshman year. A lot of these things you want to implement within the first weeks of your freshman year, but go ahead and walk your classes before FDOC, which is the first day of classes, which I think is so helpful, because then on the first day you feel some sense of confidence, because at least you have an idea of where you're headed. Make sure you walk out your classes before the first day of classes. Meet with friends at the dining hall. The dining hall is the perfect event to like make friends with, because one, you probably have an unlimited meal plan, so you're not paying any extra money to go and eat with people, and second, it's usually in a very convenient location, so utilize the dining hall. The next thing you want to do pretty early on is find where you study best and what time you study best. So there's some people who study best from like 10 to midnight, like they're night owls. They get most of their studying like conked out at Cooper late at night. If that's not you, figure that out soon. Trial and error. So make sure that you find your study spot on your campus, as well as when you study the best. Second to last thing that I'm going to be sharing for my freshmen as a part of my freshman advice is to make sure that you have some cash related app. You will be using those. I know that Venmo's used a lot, but make sure that you have one of those types of payment methods ready to go before you start your freshman year. And lastly, you want to always make sure that you have some type of snack and go-to ready-to-go kind of meal, or even just some quick little easy meals you can whip up in your micro fridge and call it a day. So guys, I hope this advice was very helpful to you, especially if you are an incoming freshman going to Clemson. And if you are new, I wanted to go ahead and once again invite you to subscribe down below, hit the bell so you can be notified when I post my latest videos, and give this video a huge thumbs up if you like these freshman and advice related types of videos. I'm going to be doing more of these kind of college related, kind of helping you out types of videos later on this summer, closer to back to school season, so stay on the lookout for that. Also check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, they'll be linked down below and right here. And until next time, I will catch you guys on the flip side. See you guys on Wednesday. Bye guys.